I'm Francesco Sirano, the director of the Archeological Park of Herculaneum. The theatre was the first monument of Herculaneum to be discovered in 1738, and it is still visited via the Bourbon passages. It is a unique experience which lets us relive the Grand Tour. In 79 AD, Herculaneum had approximately 4,000 inhabitants. Over half of these could comfortably enjoy the shows on the days scheduled for the Ludi in their fine theatre, which could seat 2,500 people. This magnificent building, which the 18th century excavations found with all its furnishings, albeit knocked down by the eruption, had been built at the time of the Emperor Augustus. We also know the name of the magistrate, the duovir, a kind of mayor in charge of it. Lucius Annius Mammianus Rufus, a member of one of the most important families of Herculaneum. And we also know the name of the architect, Publius Numisius. Let's go closer and discover more about this building. First of all, let's look at the Scaenae Frons. The Scaenae Frons is an architectural facade with two orders and with columns, coloured marbles and niches with many statues in them. It also has three typical doors, the central one, the so-called royal doorway, and the two side ones, known as valvae hospitalis, where the actors entered on cue. Here in the Roman world in 79 AD, we wouldn't have seen tragedies, comedies of the great Greek and Latin theatre, but very probably we would have heard loud laughing, because here farces and mimes were performed. At the sides of the Scaenae Frons, we have the two passages towards the theatre exit, the so-called parodoi. Above these are the tribunalia, two theatre boxes where magistrates or figures particularly honoured by the local community were seated. In the case of Herculaneum, we have on the one side the statue of Marcus Nonius Balbus, the great benefactor of the town, and on the other, that of Appius Claudius Pulchrus, a member of one of the most important senatorial families of Rome. Looking round behind us, we see the cavea. The cavea has its typical semicircular shape and is divided into three orders, according to the spectators taking part. The Imea cavea, dedicated to the VIPs, eminent figures of the local community. The Media cavea, with tough seats, dedicated to the local public, and the Summa cavea, which from here we see only vaguely, but probably occupied by female spectators. On the cavea there are also three small temples, two at the sides and one in the centre. In these temples there were probably the statues of the emperors. The theatrical games could last for many hours and often took place during the day. This is why it was necessary to put up the velarium, to have some covering which would create shade for the spectators who spent many hours here on fine holiday days.